Hello everybody, welcome back to the LMC channel. I'm your host Liam, and anime. Remember when I said this?
Probably never talk about another anime ever again.
You know, some of you may be wondering if I was going to talk about more Japanese anime. Well, I'm sorry to say this, but I don't really watch a lot of cartoons. Yep, I guess you could say I'm the least likely to be a weeb. So why don't you, otakus and weeaboos, get out here with your love for cartoon fictional women and body pillows. As you can see right now, I have better things to do in life. So please, I do. Okay, maybe I watch one other show.
Spy X Family is one of those animes you've probably heard people talk about in recent memory. I mean, it's not obscure by any means. Ever since the launch of the manga back in early 2019, nobody could predict how successful this franchise would become, with merchandise all over Japan. Even some questionable products. I mean, who would ever want to try a burger covered in peanut butter?
That's disgusting.
There's a musical based off the series and theme park rides. And it really goes to show you how much this franchise became an overnight success, and how it very much changed the future of Japanese manga. I myself very much enjoyed what I watched, though I wouldn't consider it perfect, more on that later. And with the second season and movie on the way, I thought it'd be a great time to look back on Spy X Family and see what makes it so special. And, in the end, I'll give you my personal opinion on what I thought about the show.
Are you ready? If you're not, too bad, I'm starting anyways!
Before we talk about this show, I think it's important to talk about how Spy X Family was made. Spy X Family was created by manga artist Tatsuya Endo. Now, prior to the release of Spy X Family, he worked on comics such as Attack on Titan and Blue Exorcist. Though, despite working on some big-name mangas, he struggled to create a series of his own. He would create one-off series that didn't really go anywhere and didn't really sell all too well, such as Rengoku no Ashi, and wasn't doing so well financially. He fell into a state of depression, and his family told him to give up working in the industry altogether. However, he decided to give it one more try, and after creating a somewhat successful one-shot manga called I Spy, he decided to take that concept of spies and several elements from his previous works and create what would become Spy X Family. Launched on March 25th, 2019 on Shonen Jump Plus, Spy X Family the manga became an instant success with readers, selling over 300,000 copies in its first month, and continued to top the charts, selling over 2 million copies by January 4th, 2020. So, with Endo finally creating the success he always wanted, what was Tatsuya Endo's opinion on creating the next big thing?
Yeah, he pretty much hates it.
Okay. I admit, I might be exaggerating a little. It's not really that he hates it, it's just that he doesn't really care about the characters that much. If you ever look up interviews of Endo talking about Spy X Family, it's clear that Endo doesn't really care about his comic because he feels as if he made the series out of what people wanted instead of what he wanted. Yeah, it is unfortunate that he doesn't really enjoy making it, and he's embarrassed about his most popular work. Yeah, right with you, buddy. He also stated that he doesn't really care about spies and only likes the idea of them having a secret identity. Again, I agree with him. I mean, every time I watch James Bond, I get annoyed by how invincible he is.
Yes! I am invincible!
But that all paid off because on November 1st, 2021, Spy X Family would be getting an anime adaptation from Wit Studios and Cloverworks Studios. And on April 9th, 2022, Spy X Family aired on Japanese televisions for the first time. And this is when the show became a mainstream hit. In Japan alone, the show was the #1 most watched television show for 12 weeks in a row, and became the most watched show of 2022, which is impressive that it was able to garner an audience that massive of a scale. And now the show is up there with other popular animes. So why don't we take a look at the show itself and see what it's all about. Meet Agent Twilight, one of the best spies working in the Westella Intelligence Service Eastern Focus Division. God, what a mouthful. He has stopped countless wars from occurring and has apprehended multiple criminals. So, Agent Twilight's next mission, Operation Strix, is to spy on Donovan Desmond, the leader of the National Unity Party within the rival country of Odessia. However, in order to get close to this guy, he has to get a wife and kid and pose as a family guy.
He said it!
So, his kid can go to the same school as Desmond's kid and befriend him.
So he takes the alias of Lloyd Forger, goes to an orphanage, and adopts a young, pink-haired, minuscule
little girl named Anya. To Lloyd's eyes, at first, she seems like a sweet and smart, innocent girl. However, she's actually a telepathic and can read minds, and quickly finds out that Lloyd is a spy, and she thinks it's the coolest job in the world. I mean, she is 6, even though I think that job would be pretty cool if I were her age. Later, he meets Yor, a stunningly beautiful lady who seems to live a quaint life working as an employee at City Hall. Lloyd asks Yor to be his fake wife, and she agrees, and everything seems fine with her under Lloyd's eyes. However, her true job is working as an assassin for the Odessian organization Garden. Lloyd and Yor keep their secrets to themselves, not telling anyone. However, Anya knows about their jobs, but keeps it a secret to herself in fear of going back to the orphanage. And so, the 3 live their lives as a fake family, hiding their true identities and jobs from one another. That is the basic premise of the show. It's a very interesting concept that definitely works, which is evidenced by how popular the show is.
One thing I like about the show is the location of where it takes place.
The show's 2 countries who are locked in a Cold War with one another parallels the real-life East and West Germany and the Cold War between America and Soviet Union. Hey, I don't know, I just find the history of the Cold War to be fascinating.
I mean, even the city the Forgers live is called Berlin, a very similar name to the real-life city of Berlin. Clearly they weren't even trying to be subtle about it. So, right now, why don't we talk about each of the 3 main characters who make up the family? Lloyd Forger.
As mentioned previously, he is a spy, one of the best out there. His combat, great memory, and being a master of disguise have helped shape a great retribution among his co-workers. However, to hide the fact that he is a spy from his family, he fakes his job as a psychiatrist, working at the local hospital.
Yeah, he's my least favorite out of the main trio. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the character for who he is, but he's the least interesting out of the 3.
I get why he doesn't really show a lot of emotion. He's a spy, and he's good at his job.
But what does interest me is his backstory. The whole reason why Lloyd is a spy is because he wants to bring world peace, and doesn't want future generations to live in the same world as he did.
He lost his family and friends during the war. The only person he could call a friend after that is a runaway Odessian soldier named Frankie Franklin. And he went through hell during his spy training under his teacher, Sylvia Sherwood.
What I would love to see in this show is a Lloyd backstory episode of how he grew up to overcome his challenges and to see how he became the person he is today.
I also like the fact that he's softened up to his fake family.
At first, he doesn't really care too much, only really doing this for his mission. But later on, he starts to show more love and attention towards his fake family.
In conclusion, Lloyd is a boring character to me, but there's potential in him for me to really like him.
Let's just hope the writers keep it up.
子供が泣かない世界、それを作りたくて俺はスパイになったんだ。
Your Forger is hot. Hey guys, which one of you has been messing with my scripts?
Anyways, Yor Forger, aka Foreign Princess, as she is nicknamed in her line of duty,
is an assassin, the fake husband of Lloyd, and the adoptive mother to Anya.
Just like Lloyd, Yor grew up most of her life without a mother or father in the house, so she became the caretaker of her younger brother, Yuri, a security service worker who can act a bit crazy and will do anything to make his sister happy.
She also had to get a job at a young age, which is why she became an assassin.
Her abilities to kick a speeding car to the curb, cut a tennis ball into little pieces with just the racket, and cow tipping have made her a woman not a lot of people mess with. Though, she hides this job from everyone around her. Her day job is at the Berlin City Hall, where she is made fun of by her co-workers for being an airhead. Though she can be silly sometimes, she remains to be a good and loyal person, even though she kills people for a living.
She's also terrible at cooking, gets drunk very easily, which is very funny to watch.
And she has a strange fascination with knives. Okay.
Another thing I would like to bring up is her voice actress, Saori Hamami.
Not only because Yor Forger is probably her most well-known role, but she's like in every single piece of media that comes from Japan in recent years. At the end of the day, Yor Forger is a kind and caring person. Despite her multiple personas she can put on at any moment, she's always willing to help others in need who are in trouble, especially to her new role as a mother for Anya.
Just don't watch the show in China, okay?
The third and youngest member of the group, Anya Forager, is the poster child of this show, and the most popular character people talk about. Raised as test subject 007, I see what you did there. She was able to read people's minds and figure out the true nature of people. She uses these powers for good and tries to help out people in current situations. Although there are times where she cannot use her powers, she gets tired pretty quickly from using her powers too much and becomes a normal girl during a new moon. However, she's only technically 6 and has a lot to learn about people and the world, especially during her school times at Eldon Academy, where she has to befriend the target's son, Damien Desmond. And while things don't go well at first, Damien begins to soften up to Anya, and while Anya will only be friends with Damien to help bring world peace, the two somewhat become friends, and she also makes another friend at school, Becky Blackbelt, who helps Anya in current situations. As a kid, she has a multitude of interests. Her favorite food is peanuts. She loves spy cartoons. She has a toy goat lion doll she carries around. You see, this is all essential to the lore! She's also very curious, which gets her into a lot of trouble, and has a tough time pronouncing words. In the end, Anya is a cute little girl who wants to make the world a better place. Even though she can't really do much, she will get into action and help others out in need with her telepathic powers, even if she can't tell her mother and father. Now, if you've been paying attention, there's one thing that all three of these characters share, and it's loneliness. The main trio of characters are all orphans, lost in the world, but come together to create a loving and caring family, even if at the end of the day, it is fake. It wouldn't surprise me if at the end of the series Lloyd decides to quit being a spy and keep living the rest of his life with Anya and Yor. At least that's probably going to be the happy ending most people want. But I digress. We still have so much more to talk about with this show. There's Bond, the Forager's dog they adopt. He's able to predict the future and has become the bodyguard to Anya, though again, he is the family's dog, so they don't have a lot of screen time for him. Come on guys, give the dog some screen time! He was put under a lot of torture though, and that's not cool. There's Frankie Franklin, the best friend of Lloyd and babysitter to Anya, though in the end, the show just makes him a comic relief of character. Another character they make a comic relief is the principal. He's a very funny character. Fiona Frost, a co-worker of Lloyd who wants to take over Yor's job. And Becky Blackbelt, who has a crush on Lloyd for some weird reason. They're all great side characters that get in the main character's way, and all of them have their own challenges and struggles they have to face. Alright, moving on to the animation. It's beautiful to look at, and I love how Endo draws his characters. They have a mixture between cartoony and seriousness to them. I like it very much. Though, in my opinion, the show's characters look a lot better than they do in the manga. The show's animation was done by Cloverworks Studios, a studio that hasn't really had the best track record. But, you know, they did a pretty good job translating Endo's drawings into a television show. The show's music is amazing. I love the jazzy feel of the soundtrack. It reminds me a lot of Mario jazz tunes. It really carries a lot to this show. The show's openings are also incredible and have a lot of talent put into them. All great, but my favorite song has to be Mixed Nuts. The first opening of the show, it really helps display what the show is all about. If you translate what they are saying, it makes a lot of sense in the show's context. You know, they made a music video for this song and, what am I watching here? I was expecting Spy X Family, not a horror movie! This show is crazy, but so good at the same time. You can have this episode about this crazy heist going on, and then you follow it up with an episode about Anya having to be forced to study. It may sound like a bad thing when the show goes all over the place with its stories, but I think it works perfectly well and balances everything out. Some highlight episodes would be the first 3 episodes of the second half of season 1. They're great episodes and show how much this show can be an action show and has a great balance between the 3 characters while also introducing the family's dog. You know, after watching this for the first time, I thought to myself that this show would make a great movie. Oh hey, look at that! There's that episode with that one guy who's gonna leave school. That was very funny to me. The episode where the Foragers go to the aquarium. And that one episode where Yor gets very jealous of Lloyd. You know which one I'm talking about. The show has a pretty good variety, so everyone can enjoy it. You didn't like that episode where Anya tried to get her grades up? Well, next week's episode is about crime fighting and action, so tune in next week to find out. You see, sometimes you don't need an overly complex drama show. You just need something to make you smile, and that's what this show did to me. It just made me happy to see what would happen in the next mission.
Anya, does put a smile on my face.
I very much like that Anya feels like an actual child and tries to figure out the world around her as she grows up. Who knows? People will write essays about how we can learn what real children are like from Anya. Will I do it?
No.
I'm not gonna do it, but someone out there is going to. At the end of the day, Spy X Family is a great show that's fun, exciting, and just a pleasure to watch. A show that's not gonna end for a long time. In the end, I enjoyed Spy X Family. It has its funny moments, its serious moments, and all the things in between. This show, in my opinion, is the next big thing. Is it a perfect show? Not at all. But the concept itself works as a fun show. Perfect for the whole family! Yeah, okay, maybe not. But seriously, it's a good show that you should watch when you have the time. But still, Urusei Yatsura is still better.
Well, there you go. I talked about another anime that I very much enjoyed. Thank God I didn't get too obsessed with this show. Well, my name is Liam. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to do that thing that every other YouTuber tells you to do. And I'll see you guys next time. Hey, Liam, I found this picture of a cartoon woman strapped to a pillow in your bedroom. You mind telling me what that's all about? Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I've never seen that thing in my life. I mean, get over here.